How are you?
I've been doing good. I'm doing good. I got breath, so we're gonna get it done.
I love it. So tell me about your real estate investing journey before we dive into, getting into DealMachine. What's your background?
So with my real estate investment, I think that I started my want to get into the real estate field when I was about 12 years old. And I remember I used to go and cut yards for a guy. And me cutting yards for this guy, I just was trying to make some money, help my mom out. I had a pretty rough upbringing, and we bounced all over the place. So I remember cutting this guy's yards and then finding out that he was an investor. And I didn't know this. I was only 12 years old, so I ended up cutting one of his yards, and I bugged him for probably 2 weeks straight, and him just like, "Get out of here, kid, leave me alone." Until he finally was like, "Cut my yard," and he's like, "How much you gonna charge me?" You know. And so I was like, "Hey, if you give me, I said, just give me an opportunity to cut it. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay me." And so obviously he liked it. And before the summer was out, I was cutting about 6 or 7 of his yards. And then I had to bring on some of my friends because we were cutting it like every other week. So, um, yeah. And then I saw he had dumpsters out there and people were bringing stuff in and out. And I remember saying to myself, like, man, dude, I need to go in there and just like help him clean this stuff out. Maybe I can make some extra money. And so I pestered him for like another 2 weeks. He's like, man, you just cut the yard. He's like, you ain't gonna stop. Kid, so he's like, go and grab this on here. I had to sign a waiver and stuff. But so I remember in that time, like he ended up showing me like he had different houses and he would drive me around to different places. And I said to myself, I was like, man, I don't want to cut the line. I want to own it, you know?
Mm.
Cause I didn't like being out in the heat. And this guy was like in his truck and kind of telling his guys what to do. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And I wanted to really give my mom a stable place to live and, also create that for single mothers alike. And so that was where my passion got planted in those dark moments of my life. And then I think I got back into it a few years ago. I was a fitness manager for a major chain here, and I was also a fitness trainer. And I just had the real estate bug. I knew that's something that I wanted to do. And so I'm fluent in Spanish, so I started I started getting guys to go and do like odd jobs for people, and I was kind of like, project managing some stuff for people. And one of the guys I was project managing from, he referred me to a guy, and this guy was like begging me to like do some investments with him. So I ended up getting a house under contract. Didn't even have a contract, didn't even know the contractual side of things. And so anyway, ended up getting it under contract. Didn't have this guy put anything in writing, and he backed out of the deal. So I had this house, and I had to close on this house, right? And so I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't know if I looked on I started like researching or something. I got on like YouTube or something, or somebody said something to me. And so long story short, I ended up assigning the deal like 2 weeks later. And I got like a 1-page contract from the flip man I found on YouTube, and then he ended up answering my phone call because I didn't even know how to fill that side of the contract out. And so that was pretty nice of him. But anyway, long story short, I made about 13 grand or something off of my first deal. And then so this is crazy. I called one of those because I didn't know where to sell it. I didn't have a cash buyer, right? And
Yeah.
so I went on Craigslist because I was like, I know, people are always selling stuff on Craigslist. So I saw those people like saying we buy houses and stuff. I'm green, I didn't know what was going on, cash buyers and all of that. And so I called this guy up, man, to make a longer story short. This guy, he ends up talking me down, beating me down on the price. And he ends up, he's a wholesaler. So he's daisy chaining it with this real estate agent. Yeah, this real estate agent and this guy, right? Which is now my business partner, right? It's crazy. And so he ends up making more money off the deal than I did. I think they made like 16 grand. I only made like 13, but it was a smoking deal. So
Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
insane. So what led you to Deal Machine, and kind of tell me about have you done a deal or deals or what tell me that story.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think obviously YouTube University. I was definitely on YouTube University. I don't have a formal education, but I'm pretty adaptable, and I can catch on to something that I hear. And so I remember just going on YouTube University and kind of poking around, and then I was listening to either Max Maxwell or somebody like that, and they were telling me, yeah, it was Max Maxwell actually. And I was just like going through. He had like tips on how to become a wholesaler, like 101 to be a wholesaler. So, he was showing me his structure as far as what apps he uses and so on and so forth. And legitimately, I just downloaded the app and I started driving. And I've used the app and pulled out of it. So I've probably made like 60 or 70K out of that app, but I haven't even logged it. I just now started like logging my deal, in
Oh my
there.
gosh.
Yeah.
60 to 70K though?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's amazing. And you've had when did you when did you download the app, like roughly, do you know the time period?
It's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years. And then, so what happened is I downloaded the app. I did it a little bit, and then I kind of just checked out a little bit. But so this is what was happening. I was getting a lot of word of mouth. So like,
Mm.
I'm very community centered and community focused. So I do a lot of work in community, like volunteer stuff. And then also on the city level and stuff like that. Just because, yeah, I love my, it's a
Where
heart.
are you located? Sorry, I didn't even ask that question
Yeah.
for people who are watching this.
Yeah. So I'm in Kansas. I'm in Kansas now. Yep.
Oh,
Yep. I'm in
awesome.
Kansas. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And so I did that, and I was getting a lot of word of mouth. So
So how many leads did you have to put in to Deal Machine to get these deals? Or like, do you know kind of the average of, or how you were working that to get these deals out of Deal Machine?
yeah, so I wasn't even truly utilizing. I wasn't utilizing Deal Machine to its max capacity. For some reason, I'm just like a very routine type of a guy. So I would just upload. I would get a certain amount of leads, and then after I hit at least that 50 mark, then I would export it, and then shoot it over to be skip traced. And then I would just cold call them, right? And so I
Right.
never really used the data, like the ability to search a phone number in there, or I wasn't using them for mailers, so I wasn't really sending mailers. So my last deal that I got off of Deal Machine, and I made 15,700.
Woo.
Yeah, and it was that one was from a mailer I sent from there. Yeah, and then and also, so like I use the find the owner part. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But this particular time it did, and I ended up leaving a message also. So I sent the mailer, and so I had two touches with them, and they ended up calling me back, and they were like, hey, we got your phone call, but then we kind of didn't know, and then we got a piece of mail from you and saying that you wanted it. So it was like, okay, yeah, yep,
So the mailer did end up, that second touch point really helped kind of qualify you for
uh-huh,
them.
yeah. And then also I had a deal, and I made 10,200 bucks off that one. And I literally just used the owner, the search for the owner, find the owner. And literally I got on the phone with him, and like, I think like the next day I saw the place, and then I locked it up that same day. Um, and then I sold it in like, I don't know, a few hours. So I had made that 10K in like like no time. So I had very little. I probably had like an hour total in that deal. Two
Oh my
hours
gosh.
max. Two
And you
hours
said
max.
that that is just like blows my mind. But
Yeah.
you've been through a lot, and you can honestly tell, like from your story in the beginning, you're an entrepreneur through and through. Like
Uh-huh.
you can tell that you have the grit and the grind and the
Yes, ma'am.
hustle.
Uh-huh.
Like you can tell that. I don't even need a camera to see that.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Also, though, I have to say this picture is bomb right
Thanks. I
here.
appreciate it. I appreciate
Okay. I'm
it.
going to be sending you an email after this because I need a picture for the thumbnail. This
Uh-huh.
picture right here.
All right.
Bomb.
Got you. Got you. Appreciate it.
So what is your plans going forward? Do you have drivers, or because I know you said you don't like the
hmm
driving yourself. So is that something that you're looking to do as you scale?
Yeah, yeah. So that's actually what I've done. I have a driver. I have like I have like three drivers now. And so I have I have two, all of them are out of state. So they're not in my state. So I'm actually gonna have to upgrade my package and then put a team together because I have a guy here and I'm gonna have him start to drive. So basically what I did is my biggest thing is like I like to give back, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I mean my one of my core values is legacy. And so I know that I can't leave a legacy if I'm the only one winning, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I have a guy, you know, he's kind of been a mentee to me and just on the spiritual side of my life because I'm very big in my faith, and so I kind of been walking alongside of him for a couple of years and never really took him to the business side of things, but he always was like, man, you know, how are you becoming successful now? And I mean, my story is insane. And so he's like, I was like, man, it's Jesus, man. Like that's the common denominator. And so, but he's like, I want to learn from you because like I never let my principles like get blurred. And so, anyway, long story short, with that one, I brought him in and start mentoring him, and he's kind of like being able to like learn and earn type of a deal. So he
Mm-hmm.
does things for me, and we it's kind of a partnership. And so I'm gonna have him doing some driving for me here. I don't really like to pay people like that, just because I can give them money, right? But I would rather teach them to fish. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so if you don't really want to learn to fish, I will drive myself to, you know, when I need to. But now I have callers and stuff like that, so I don't necessarily need the curated list. It's all about numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
I love that. And so are you on the professional plan then?
I am not yet. I'm on the basic one. So they allow you have three drivers, right?
You're on the OG basic plan.
Uh
You got the three drivers because now it's only one for
oh
basic
yeah.
members.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've been in.
So you sound like the way you're growing is
Yeah.
especially with, are you still sending out mail marketing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had about 84 go out today. So
Holy crap. Okay. Yeah. Well, just so you know, as you scale, like that's why the plans kind of go with that. So that way, when you do scale, the mail cost gets lower. And so
hmm
does the skip tracing and everything else. Cause now I know since you're an OG member,
hmm
skip tracing was 99 cents.
hmm
And those were really freaking expensive.
yeah.
It's now for enterprise, it's 15 cents. And we do like with the corporate skip tracing, it's 30 cents.
hmm
And mail is down to 49 cents.
Okay.
So just so that you're aware as you
So,
grow, that's
so I'm paying more for what I'm getting right now. Is that what you're telling me?
it's if it's on the basic plan, are you still paying 99 cents a postcard?
I don't know. I'm paying $49 a month, and then I've been getting a couple of draws. I don't know. My accountant looks at that stuff and tells me so.
Okay, well, how about I connect you with someone to help make sure that you're on the right one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I want to make sure that you're getting the bang for your buck right now. Because I know some people had the option to stay on the older plan with like the higher price point. So I'll make sure that you're on the right plan and you can talk to somebody about that.
Sweet.
But I'm so excited for you. Like I love that the legacy part is so beautiful of how you are giving back and you want to teach people. It's not just someone driving for you. It's you teaching them the lay of the land. So where are the other drivers? Are they just like friends and family that you found, or like?
Yeah, yeah. So no, so one of them is my cousin, and then one of them is one of them is somebody that we know, like it's like a mutual friend.
Got
Uh,
it.
of somebody that I know, and then another guy I also know him, but he's in another state. So my thing is like I can have people that I don't know and pay them $50 and then have them go and do the work for me. But you know, like I have a lot of people around me, and I don't want to be the type of person that, you know, like they say, like you are the sum total of the 5 closest people to you. And so I feel like if I can enrich in my circle, right? So there's some people that I'm building up, and then there's some people that's building me up, right? But it's still a two-way street. And so
Mhm.
my whole belief system is that is if I can empower other people to grow with me, then when I pass away, if I don't even have money, then my kids will always be taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I think that yes, I lose a little bit more money than or I don't make as much money as I can, but in the short term, but in the long term, you know, then it pays dividends just to know that you're like you're able to position people to put food on their family's table. And I mean, you know, if I don't wake up in the morning, just like you said, hey, I could have not got on here because I didn't feel good, but I mean, I'm like super hyped right now, and I don't even feel, you know, anything. But if, you know, the thing about it is if I don't get up in the morning, then I have to ask myself the question, how many people am I affecting? Right.
Right.
And so how many people are going to succeed and how many people are going to fail, like because of my obedience or disobedience to what, you know, what I know I'm supposed to be doing. And so it's a lot of people that goes through life, and even wholesalers, what is it, like 85% of wholesalers don't succeed. Um, and what I found is because they don't have a big enough why, right?
Mhm.
You have to
Mhm.
have your why has to be so provoking that no matter what you feel, you get up and you go hard, right? Like if
Mhm.
you have an obstacle or if you experience a problem, that's good. You know what I mean? Because it's just an opportunity to build a house, a foundation, right? So that's what obstacles becomes. They become objects of a foundation. And so I don't know, man. I just get fired up about it, knowing that I'm able to add value to people and be compensated for that value. So
Oh my gosh, I love it. And people are going to love this because they can relate, I feel like, a lot to you, and how you've grown is so inspiring
mhm.
that do you want me to share any kind of links or anything? How do you want, if would you be open for people to connect with you?
Yeah, definitely, man. So I mean, you can reach out. I'm Emmanuel Manny Herron. That's my Facebook. And then I'm Manny Herron. That's my IG.
Okay.
Yeah, man, definitely just reach out to me. I'd love to connect. And I've been working on some things as far as like, you know, this course that I'm kind of putting together for people. Um, and really just trying to build a herd of people that, you know, like legacy breakers, like legacy makers, you know, like people that are really ready to just kind of like break the cycle of poverty, you know, and it all starts in our mind. And
Mm.
so and again, man, my story is crazy. I shouldn't even be here now. I mean, literally shouldn't even be alive multiple times. And so it's insane, man. You know, I do want to let the listeners know that um you know, you yourself is a unique value proposition, right? And a value proposition is a problem that you're able to solve, right? And nobody else can solve that problem but you. Nobody else, right? It's just like if I had a key to my car, right? And I just say I happen to drive a Honda, it I could not use a key to turn on that Honda car, right? And so that is what you are. You're that key to the Honda that can open up as many doors that Honda, you know, and nobody else can. And so if you don't wake up in the morning and believe in yourself and believe that even though you can't see your results in the moment, the process of what you're doing is going to get you to where you need to be. Man, dude, I mean, you're going to really miss something big in your life. And I just don't want that for you. So
That was beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much, Manny. I really appreciate this. And please let me know if there's anything that we can ever do for you. But I appreciate you sharing your time with me today. And I hope you feel better.
yeah. No, I'm fired up now. I'm ready to work. So
I love it. Okay, well, I'll reach out to you here in a bit. And also, I'm going to send you a link to get some swag a hat. So when you go into the link, you can just, it'll comp out at the end of the, in the total. So
No,
if you, and tell me more, if you get more deals closed, like I want to talk again and keep in touch. Okay.
definitely will do. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I will say one more. I had one more deal
Oh,
I got. So I just closed this deal. Actually, I closed it yesterday. I closed it yesterday. And I made, what did I make off of it? $7,025 or something like that. It wasn't that big of a deal, but
no, but that's a chunk of change that could change someone's life.
definitely. Yo, no, definitely. You gotta appreciate the small wins. It's so funny because so I sold the deal. I had another buyer, and I'll tell you all this. This is the power of relationships, right? So I had a buyer, and it's not always about the money. If you do this business for money, you're gonna fail. But I got this from DealMachine. I was sending a mail. This guy just, and he probably got about 3 or 4 pieces of mail. It probably was about to complete the cycle, and he hits me up. He's like, man, I love this marketing piece. It's so cool. You keep sending them to me, right? He's like, so what are you gonna pay for this thing? And so I told him generally what I do is I come out and take a look at the property. So on, I went through that spiel with him, right? And so he lived in another state. He ended up coming down, and I met with him. And no, I'm sorry, his son-in-law was here. I met with his son-in-law. I looked at it. I told him I run my numbers. I called him. Anyway, he came down that weekend, and I signed the contract. I paid too much for it because he accepted my offer way too fast. But that was good because he didn't have seller remorse, and I like that, right? But anyway, so I ended up I blasted the deal out, and I had like 4 in my warm market because I have like a preferred buyers list, and they pay like a monthly fee to be on this buyers list, like get the deals first before anybody else. And then some of them are just my friends, so I kind of like grandfathered in them that. Long story short, I have a guy come over, and I have like 3 guys, and they all want it, and so they're like, hey, da da da, this is going back and forth. And so I ended up like, I never sent him to my business partner because he's my business partner, and I don't want to like take his money like that, you know what I mean? And so but he's like, hey man, I really need this because I have some, and we own a property management company.
Oh,
uh my,
wow.
yeah, my business partner and I, so we own a property management company. And so he's like, hey, I really got somebody that needs to go into this property, and da da da. And so I'm like, all right, since it's gonna help this lady out. Anyway, I sold it to him, but I literally could have made like closer to 15, probably like 12 grand off the thing if I would have waited it out and put it out to the rest of my buyers. Cause I know like I have specific ones that would have niched out at what that property would have been maximized at. But anyway, like I said, it was good because now like a single mom and her family is going to have like an actual place to stay. And then I made a little bit of money in the process, but more importantly, like now she's in another part of my ecosystem, which is my property management company. So now I get to interface with her, and she becomes a real person to me now. Right.
Right.
So it's like, you all can change people's lives in a major way, so don't just think about the profit, because you're going to get a lot of gurus and all of that, and they're always screaming about their money and their cars and all the big deals and checks they got. But look at the impact that you have. Like, you're changing the community one house at a time, right?
Mm.
If you put it in the right person's hands. And like, people are going to remember you for that, and that's so much more important than some dollars in your bank account that's only feeding your family. And so I don't want to start preaching on here, but that's my thing, man. So
I love it. No, and I I'm just like thinking of all the titles I'm going to put with this, just because I love that you said it's just not about the money. And it's about something bigger, and it's about the impact.
mhm.
So, I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm so glad that everything's just going so well. And
Mhm.
you're right. It's not, you just feel whole
Mhm.
with everything.
Mhm. Definitely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I really, I know that, like I said, I couldn't do this without me. I know God is definitely on my side in that favor. but the relationships is so important. Belief in yourself is so important, and just not giving up, because I lost so many deals and I felt so bad about that because I didn't help that person. And it just made me grow as a person. Like, you have to grow your capacity, like grow in your knowledge, and know that, hey, these are the real numbers, not the superficial numbers that you have in your head. And so you can get that with a realtor. And I happen to marry, my wife is a realtor. So I married up. But so, that's, that's kind of what it looks like. And so grow, educate yourself, don't give up, man, and just, continue with that tenacity of what it is that you want to accomplish, and just make your why bigger than you. So
I love it. Thank you so much, Manny. I appreciate it, and I've enjoyed this so much.
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day.
You the same. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.